Good morning, Niles North. This is Final Four with your North Star broadcast. Attention Vikings. Autos Club meets on May 10th, right after school in room 1640. Attention Vikings. Climate Change Club meets on May 9th, right after school. Stop by. Vikings Academic Bowl meets on May 10th in room 2315. Attention Vikings. If you have already paid for prom happens on Saturday, May 7th from 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the Lowe's Chicago O'Hare Hotel. If you have already paid for prom, please come.
Huge congratulations to the mom and papa geese in this courtyard here for having all of their babies hatch. Look at them running around, happy and healthy.
Eid Mubarak to my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters. If you see someone who is Muslim, make sure to say Eid Mubarak to them. Now let's see Niles North Co-Ed Cheerleading 22-23 trailer.
Hey Vikings, May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and the Asian American Studies class is so excited to share with you guys a special segment featuring so many voices from our community.
But before we get into that, let's take a quick dive into the teacher behind the class, Mr. Albert Chan. How did he become a social studies teacher?
So I decided to become a social studies teacher in college when I began to coach volleyball, and I started really enjoying working with 7th and 8th grade students. So I started coaching volleyball and tutoring at the school, and I enjoyed working with students so much, I decided, hey, I also like history, why not become a history teacher? And I went down the path in college to select a major, had to pick 2 areas of study. They were both European history and US history, which is very typical. And I got certified to teach history starting in 2001. I actually never had any background in Asian American history. I have to give credit to Mr. Sharma for that. Mr. Sharma actually took some classes at Northwestern with an Asian American Studies professors. And because of his knowledge, we began to talk and we decided that we would really love to bring this kind of a class, Asian American Studies, to Niles North. Starting in 2017, we ran the class at Niles North, and it's been going on ever since. And it was popular enough that I actually now teach it at Niles West as well. And I feel like I'm learning all the time. I don't think I'm a professional academic about Asian American Studies, but I think that it's an area that's super exciting and interesting where there's always history that we're uncovering.
So why is Asian American Studies such an important special class?
I think Asian American Studies is a wonderful class that talks about identity, representation, and history of Asian Americans that has traditionally been left out of U.S. history curriculums. And it's a special class for us here at Niles North and Niles West because so many students represent from different Asian countries. I think we have over 35% Asian Americans in this school. So this class really kind of speaks to our own experiences here at Niles North. And we would like to sort of give students the opportunity to learn about their histories, but then learn about their friends too. So you don't have to be Asian American to take the class, but it's a nice way to sort of get people to learn about each other and the history that we probably aren't even aware of.
How has Mr. Chan impacted you as a teacher?
Well, first off, he was very patient and nice, because when I immigrated to this country, I was very new to school life in America, understanding of where I came from and stuff, and understanding of different viewpoints.
Mr. Chan is a really great teacher. He's really funny also, he's really nice, and his whole class is just a really good environment.
Mr. Chan has made my high school experience a lot better. He was my history teacher for freshman year, junior year, and now senior year for the second semester. He's always been an understanding teacher in person. He puts himself in there and is just able to connect with the students very well.
He always makes class really engaging and creates a good learning environment for everyone.
And he also threw us at the pizza party before Thanksgiving break,
that.
which is super fun. There you have it. Mr. Chan is an amazing social studies teacher and a valuable member of the Niles North community.
Next up, a special segment by Mr. Chan and his Asian American Studies class about our favorite things about being Asian American.
May is Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. So in honor of this, we took to our school community to ask, What is your favorite thing about being Asian?
What's your favorite thing about being Asian American?
Being able to be a part of two worlds. But when I'm in America and I see another Asian, I feel comfort, I feel some assurance, and I feel like it's like my safe space.
The culture, the food, the clothes, and the traditions.
I have freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Thus, in my country, I did not have that.
Getting to experience the culture, the food, the clothing, the holidays.
The best thing about being Korean is the food.
Through traditional and non-traditional Asian dances, and it's really made me appreciate the beauty of my culture and others.
Certain foods are connected to certain festivals that we celebrate. For example, in India, in the part that I'm from, in Gujarat, we celebrate, it's called Uttarayan, which is the festival of kites. Amazing thing that happens in January. The food associated with that is called chikki. It's made with peanuts and sugar, and it's amazing. And you know when you smell that Uttarayans are on the corner, and you can taste the festival.
The different ways we feast, such as eating it off of a banana leaf and with our hands.
I love the culture.
Food.
Art.
Being able to eat my mom's Korean food.
Wearing ao dai and going to the festival.
I'm adopted from China, so I had a group of girls that we were in a group together. They are also adopted from China, and we would go to these cultural conventions together, and we would do Chinese dancing, and eat the food, and we got to play together, and it was fun because we got to relate to each other and grow up together.
The diverse culture.
So being able to speak my native language.
An Asian is food and clothing. Foods are very delicious, made with the natural ingredients and healthy. Clothes are very beautiful and stylish.
I just love how it makes the world a bit smaller and brings a good sense of community to everyone.
I grew up in a Desi family. My grandparents, my aunts, uncle, my cousins, all our family friends. It was expected that we'd have a close bond and spend time together. So I learned that quite a bit from my parents, and that's something that I'm trying to keep in my family as I raise my own children.
Whenever I go to the Philippines, I get to bring a piece of America there, and then vice versa.
Being an Assyrian from Iraq, I just feel like there's beauty to our culture. I love the places there, and honestly, I just feel happy.
Being Asian is the food and the culture.
Sinigang because it's very different from other cultural foods.
Being able to share my culture with others.
Black bean soup, arroz caldo, adobo, and even like eating Filipino breakfast is something that like my friends get really excited about.
Perspective on other individual stories or groups of stories that might not fit necessarily into like the norm.
Chinese New Year, because Chinese New Year is filled with just a lot of values that has to do with respect, a lot of amazing foods that we only eat that time of the year, a lot of traditions that we practice that have been passed down through the generations.
I get to eat dumplings and halo halo. I like that we have the moon festival.
Food, the culture, and like the family aspect, you know.
Being Asian American has let me feel thankful for having this community that I find myself in.
Asian staff members, and we hang out and we eat, and we are gonna learn how to play mahjong together, and sometimes we're gonna watch some movies. But I feel like community and finding people who have had similar experiences and who had similar upbringings has been really important.
I'm adopted, and so one thing that for me personally has been really rewarding is learning more about my Korean heritage. And so learning about cultures and traditions has been something that I really enjoy.
That community, that sense of excitement, that sense of energy, that positive energy, especially when you're in a field of people who don't look like you, and then you see somebody who looks like you, and you're like, oh, and then you feel like you're at home, family.
Asian countries have a long history and very rich culture and tradition. I think I'm very proud of being part of this large family.
Chinese Club! Chinese Club! Filipino Club! Asian American Lit! Asian American Studies!
Thank you for watching this broadcast. Stay tuned for the senior broadcast next week.